All right.
Okay, welcome everybody to another week of our e-commerce growth profit game plans, and it's a long title. Got to get used to it. For those of you who are watching, I appreciate you being here. If you were here last week and the week before, you know what we're about. If you're new, then this is our segment that we do in this group every single week, where we get members from our community to jump on, and we have Paul here who actually looks at their business and analyzes and puts himself in their shoes and sees what he would do over the next 6 to 12 months to see it grow profitably and sustainably. So we've got another amazing guest this week, and we'll bring on in a minute to introduce himself. But if you have any comments or any questions or anything, make sure you leave them below. There should be a comment box below. If you want to jump on, by all means, leave a comment. We'll get you on as well. I'll send this link through for you to jump on, and we can go from there. So without any further ado, we're going to bring Tom on board just to give himself a quick introduction, and we'll get into it. Tom, how are you?
Howdy. How's my gear set up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect, mate. Perfect. Thank you.
See my shiny head? Yeah, awesome.
We have many shiny head people. We have many shiny head people in the circle. It's all good.
No doubt. So my background is I worked as like a kind of corporate drone for about 20 years and got sick of it. Having kids especially, I realized that something had to give between kids and day job and social life, and the only one I wasn't really in love with was work. So so now I'm making personalized kids books, doing like direct to consumer, a little bit like your Wonderbly type books for anyone who's a parent and knows what that's about. Except instead of changing the name, there's two different points of differentiation. Instead of changing the name, I changed the pictures, so the kids are in the pictures, and they're non-fiction instead of fiction. So like educational.
Yeah, cool. Tell us a little bit about the product on the website, because it's a pretty interesting one. It's fairly unique and customizable. So give us a little insight to that.
Yeah, so the website's a little bit confused in that it's got this positioning as like an umbrella brand that would have a catalog. And I realized about a year in, I don't want an umbrella brand. I would have loved to have had a one product brand, do like a product, like one product brand, and sell the crap out of that, and then rebrand if I need to later on. But here we are. The one product is a book about art history that introduces 12 great artists of the portrait artists of the 20th century with a little blurb and a portrait of your kid, or the oldest. I say kid. The oldest kid we've done to date was a 100-year-old kid. So people are kind of using it not how I intended, which is lovely. But a portrait of the reader, let's say, or the recipient, because it tends to be a gifting thing, in the style of each of the artists.
Yeah, cool. So just to clarify, so people would upload the photo, or I know you've been working on the customization and all that. So people would upload the photo of their child, and then it would get the different artists from the history, and then put it in their style. So, for example, a Picasso, the child would probably look a little bit like this, a little bit, and then who knows what else. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly. Like I'm pretty open about all the tech and everything on Twitter and LinkedIn. I do the whole like building public thing, so I'm not shy about talking about the tech. For each page, it takes an example of the artist's style, an image of a pose. So the pose image just is like, might be a picture of someone doing a star jump or something, could be anything, or someone sitting with a dog, and a picture of a character like the person who's uploaded, and it just does all those in parallel in the cloud. I get the output image, assemble that into a template so people can view it, and then if they hit buy, I assemble it into like a print ready PDF that goes off to a photo book printer. Yeah. So from the customer's point of view, it's like upload one photo, give me a name and an age and some money, and about 2 weeks later, you get a book in the post. From my point of view, it's kind of a tech business that happens to be that one of the APIs has this side effect that a book is posted somewhere.
Yeah, I did it before. I grabbed this photo of my son. I'm like, that's the quickest photo that I could get, and I uploaded it. And I'm like, here we go. Got this one. Got this one. Got this one. I'm like, this is cool, man. Really cool. I like it.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Oh, that one's good. That one's good.
Yeah. What do you mean? They're all good. Sure.
That one was petite. I like that one.
Like, it's nuts though how good, like, you know, it's still, I'm like, this is not going to be able to take him leaning against the car sideways. I'm like, you're going to need more than one image. I'm like, I was like, it's not going to work, you know. And it's like, wow, really? It's like converted him so he's front on, and it's, you know,
it's wild, isn't it?
It's pretty good. I'm impressed. I'm not very so the only thing, you know, for me that was a bit of a friction point here is I would have made this button bigger, the view button, because I'm like, oh, I can't even see them. Are they good? And I nearly didn't see that button for some reason. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't tell if they're good. Like I zoomed in.
You're not meant to see the secondary CTA, are you? It's not what it's there for.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to change the whole flow, actually. I'm going to change the whole UX because I've got this tension at the moment between giving customization options, but putting them before the buying decision and the handing over of money. So I'm working on it. So now you hit try it. You just give a photo. Don't worry about the details. Don't worry about logging in. It'll just instantly generate the cover of that image only. And then you can hit buy. And after you buy, it'll flesh it all out. It'll give you a few options for each page. You can maybe retry if you like. Just a little bit more friction customization, which I don't want to put before the paying decision. Yeah. But if I move that around, less clicks before payment, spend less on AI, and then I don't have to, at the moment, the deal is kind of give me your email address and I'll give you, you know, some GPU time. But if I reduce that, then I think the trade-off is easier. And I think I'll get more people converting. And once I've got someone looking at that cover, I reckon I've got someone pretty emotionally involved compared to where they were before they saw that.
I would have showed cover variations. Like of all the images that are in here, that for me, that was the one that I don't like at all. Do you know what I mean? So I've gone, and then I've gone down here. Oh, I can't see it anyway. So I'm like, lucky I clicked this, because then I'm like, oh, well, I could change the cover, I assume, and use like, you know, one of these ones as the cover. Like I would have gone like, you know, well, I'm trying to act like I know anything about art whatsoever, and I don't, but you know, maybe I've gone.
You're who this is for in that case. Like if you're
exactly
curator, it's probably not for you.
Yeah, I would have gone Vincent Van Gogh. I'm like, oh, cool, that's I want that to be the cover. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon it could just be go back a little bit to here and go, you know, here's a couple of cover options, and here's big versions of the image. Do you want it? And I go, done. That's it. There's not even.
Yeah, I might change the view CTA to be primary and change the name from view to customize.
Yeah.
So it's either like customize or order now. But I think changing the whole flow as to which image is better. I think in general it's probably like a no accounting for taste matter, and I'm just going to A/B test it. So I'm already getting some data. I let people exclude a page, and I want them to have a bit of skin in the game. So if you say I don't like this one, it's just going to be your book's one page shorter. So you got to mean it. It's not like you can keep clicking around again and again. And so I've got some pretty high quality data on which ones people don't like. That one with the dog, some people hate it and some people love it. That's the one that's most often left out and put on the cover.
Oh, right. Really? Okay. Yeah, interesting. Oh, I mean, there's so much stuff you could do through here. Hey, like, let's go to the front of the website.
Though, the main thing is like capturing all the data as well. So I'm, you know, just kind of developing a pool of data to work from.
Yeah, it's so you can, you know, you build up abandoned cart flows and retargeting flows and all that kind of stuff. That's the most important thing.
The cool thing about the abandonment flows is that I've still got all the mock-up images to drip. So you probably got an email already with a picture of your son in the email.
Yep. I'll have a look. I'll check that in a second. Is this Shopify?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's just raw code.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Next.js. Yeah. It's a bit of a problem. I really need a cart functionality badly for like combined shipping, add some upsells. Like, oh, you want a single print of this one? Or the like downsell, $70 too much? Here's a $30 option you can use for kids' birthday parties. Would you like a tote bag with that to go and, you know, wear this out in the playground?
Yeah, and you need to be able to go, oh, I just want to upload a photo of like all my kids and give me 3 books and don't make me start all over again.
Yeah.
So
I like them to see I like them to see the output, because sometimes you get like 3 hands. There was one yesterday where instead of like the kid with their arm around a dog, it was their arm around this kind of creepy middle-aged man.
Okay. I was going to show you.
So I like people to see that if possible, because fixing that in software is easy. Fixing that once someone's spent 2 weeks waiting for a book is a pain and expensive.
Yeah, I've got I reckon I've got 3 or 4 different types like this book. Like we've got a date book for me and my wife. It's got us on it, and then I've got one for my kids, and then I've got another one. So I'm definitely your market as well. So I think the idea is genius. I think you'll crush this. But let's go back from a few things from an e-com point of view. So I'm probably not going to touch too much on the whole conversion rate optimization component of this because you've got that pretty nailed. But I do think from a brand messaging point of view, it's not as clear as it could be. And you kind of have like the site kind of built in a bit of a funny order. So you have things like social proof.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but like my background as a like left brain computer nerd, bring the criticism as bluntly and plainly as you like.
I think you're a good mix of both. I think.
Yeah, I'm the same. My background is 20 years of selling modems and routers in e-commerce, so I'm a nerd too. So all good. Yeah, nice. It's just the structure's a bit funny at the moment. So I just want to see if I can get my share screen. I want to bring my tablet into this. I probably can't, but we'll try anyway. How am I going to do this? Stop screen, share this screen. Give me 1 second. We're going to do this on Zoom, but something changed at the last minute. So, all right, cool. I've
shared that.
Got that. Now you can see my tablet.
Yep.
All right. So, kind of what should be happening is, hang on. There we go. So, up the top, yes, you should have your logo sitting up here. Then you should have some kind of like urgency and some kind of scarcity sitting.
It's an updated poll, sorry.
It's not working
on the iPad. I can see the screen, but oh yeah, no, it just takes a while. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Come back here. Then what I would be aiming for here straight off. So here's your top of the fold type section, right? That's your banner, and then you've got like your H1 in there. Then you've got like a H2. Then you've got some social proof. That's good. I would add more social proof, like down below that, as featured in, we were on Oprah or we were on blah, 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 because you've got that further down the page at the moment. I would move that up. Then I would probably change it so where it's got like loved by kids. I would tell a bit more of a story up here. I'd get into like some proper brand messaging kind of stuff. Like, hey, it's Paul here. This is what we're doing. This is how we do it. This is who we do it for. This is how easy it is, and then you just kind of do a bit of a walkthrough. Step 1, you do this. Anyway, that's a 1. Step 2, we do this. Step 3, takes you about 2 minutes. It took me 2 minutes to do that, Step 4, we send it to you. It arrives in a couple of days. Then, go down further. So let's assume we're going to go to the next page. We go, it's recommended by me, Marie, and Judy, and they've got a monster Facebook group. You probably heard about them as well. Into the next section, get rid of that section there. Then I would start stacking testimonials, like heaps and heaps. You got 2 at the moment, but I'd have as many as you can. Like, do you know what I mean? Just filling that with
nice
testimonials. Use a system called Senja.io. Super easy. You can integrate this straight natively into your system. I'm not sure what this next bit is actually here, like what the deal is with why personalized nonfiction. Is that kind of like why you built the business?
I think like some of it. No, some of it's it hasn't all. It wasn't built in a day. Let's say from the top down, and I reckon the above the fold has had a lot more extra clarity added and iterations, and that bit down the bottom was, I think, to do with a few head moments where I saw people before my messaging was a bit clearer, scratching their heads and going, "What the f do you mean? It's personalized nonfiction? What's going on here?" So that could probably afford to go. I'm not at all wedded to that.
Yeah, I reckon
there's something good about it. There's something of value there, but I've got a couple of child psychologists, like developmental psychology people, creating some content for me at the moment. And I think if I drop that in there, that'll hit way harder than what those cards do.
Yeah, you kind of need some endorsements, as recommended by like this person, this person, this person, this person, I think that's important as well. So let me just bring up the site again. There's definitely a brand messaging piece. So I would probably recommend you have a look at, we've got a course that we sell on brand messaging. It's super cheap. It's like $150. Grab the course off Chris and just go through it, because then you'll end up with heaps of words and stuff that you can actually put in to this homepage, and you'll get really clear about what's missing in there, right? So this is the first piece of the work that we always do anyway when we get anyone to join the circle. So we're like, okay, do brand messaging, do a conversion rate audit, do a financial audit, do an actual digital strategy. So those things for me, the brand it's just a bit light on. So there's a lot more to it than what you've kind of got at the moment. I just want to bring it up again and see what else I think.
The other thing that I'm planning to put on there, I've got a bunch of had some kind of outbound and now inbound influencer type UGC content, and I think just a little bit of that in place, like Insta friendly mums and dads with happy kids looking through the book that looks just like the kid.
Yep. Let me show you a site, right? So I mean, I'm just mindful this is not a Shopify site, but it's effectively a landing page. So it's a bit of a funny one to be auditing on this call. But if you look at like this guy's site, so this guy sells.
There is a product page too.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. I'll come back to that. But say for example, can you see my screen here? This guy sells courses. You're selling something similar. There's your H1, there's your H2. Here's all the reviews. Here's the big claim that he makes instantly. So you need to do the same thing when you do your brand messaging. Then we skip this bit. If you want to buy it right away. It's purchased by this many people. Then it gets straight into just this is Senja, this stuff here, like video, text, video, text. Scrolls on, and hey, you ready to buy it now? Again, I don't want to brag, but here's more people. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And then how easy is it to use? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. This is what happens. It's recommended by these professional people as well. So this is different to a normal Shopify site. So for those of you that are watching this and expecting a Shopify audit, sorry, but you can see how this kind of flows very naturally, So and again,
I'm always curious how it looks on mobile, because 80% or more of my customers convert on mobile.
Oh, it's exactly the same. It's just like, there's your H1, there's your H2, let's do something so simple. Like I would honestly mirror something like this. What does your product page look like? So what do I do? Go here?
Just click the CTA. The big orange button, or that.
This one.
Yep.
This is a bit of a confusing nav. So
it is a bit of a confusing nav. Yeah, that's also very much on top of mind at the moment.
I'm wondering if are you going to have different? This is more of a business question. Are you going to have different size books and everything? I'd imagine, right, in the future. So, I'm wondering.
The market. I think the market for this is so. Just even if it's very niche down, I'm much more interested in profitably scaling my ad spend.
Yep.
And selling a ton of the same thing profitably.
Yeah, good idea.
Then diluting the attention. So all those kind of ideas, like adding to the catalog, adding formats, adding cross sells and up and down sells. It's kind of on the back. Even cost optimization is kind of on the back burner until the ad account is on autopilot, which it's getting pretty close to.
So the only thing I was going to suggest is if you use something like Shopify and there was some kind of catalog, and then rather than they go, I want this thing in the catalog, and then they do that, and then that runs through your system that it does the generation, but then it pushes it back into Shopify as a product to order, if that's possible, and then that's all where the upsells, downsells, cross sell, shop pay, everything works natively, instead of you trying to build a Shopify shopping cart platform with all, mate, what a job.
Totally. I mean, I'd make jokes about how I'm trying to rebuild Shopify all the time on Twitter, because it's totally true. And maybe I shouldn't, but the barrier to entry is pretty high because every product is kind of different and has to be fulfilled a bit differently, I think. Or
well, in my last business, I pretty much did build Shopify. So I built my Warcom platform all the way from like 1998 to 2014 and probably spent $2 million building the platform. So wish I had found Shopify earlier, and I sold that business. Now I'm like, how do we just go? Just here's the thing, and you're like, maybe in the future you just make an app that it's only your app, but it all connects to Shopify rather than you trying to build this outside of Shopify. Do you know what I mean? So it sits in the platform. It's
sort of just a matter of like I'm trying to spend 50% of my revenue on ads by increasing my ad spend 3 times a week.
Okay.
Without resetting into the learning phase. And I'm only managing to keep up with a third is my long-term target, but the revenue is growing so quickly that it's outpacing my ability to spend 50% while scaling the ads safely without triggering a learning phase. So while I'm doing that, I'm like, it's hard to I find it hard to focus on making anything else work better when the thing that, the distribution channel that can scale to 2 billion people is getting all my brain share at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. Trying to think where we should go from here because it's going to be hard. I can't do a Crow audit on a site that's not Shopify. So I can talk about all the other things. Are you doing Google ads? Are you doing Meta ads already? Are you doing email and stuff? What are you doing around all those things?
So the kind of 2 things I'm really gunning for is my 1 paid channel and sort of 1 unpaid channel. The 1 paid channel is Meta, and I just love the simplicity of knowing that all my paid traffic is there. If I've grown enough to spend more money on ads, then I spend more money on ads. And if I haven't grown enough to spend money on ads, then I got to spend more effort on hustle. And my hustle is through email, which admittedly I pay whatever $30 a month for ConvertKit, but it's effectively zero. It's not per acquisition or anything. I've got 2 main email sequences that are doing a bit of work. One is the newsletter sign up that could probably use a bit of love. The one that gets a lot of the one that gets a lot of love is the you've personalized the book. That generates a lot of sales. Also generates a lot of feedback about why people didn't buy.
Okay,
which is awesome because not only they're telling me how to improve the product and maybe how to sell it better next time, but they're also engaging and improving my deliverability. So that's great. But the main thing that I'm trying to do apart from meta ads is get people to tell their friends to buy it.
Yeah.
And kind of optimizing for referrals. I had in that sequence, I asked for reviews for a while, and that was pretty good. A lot of people left reviews, but I think at the moment it seems to be, I haven't got good data about it, but I decided that I'd ask them not to tell their friends and leave a review and give me feedback and all these things. Just give them one simple ask they could do. Yeah. And that ask, instead, first I made it a review and I was like, I don't know if this is really the highest value option compared to just someone posting on their own socials about it, telling people in the WhatsApp groups they're in, school club, book club, parent group, anything with that personal touch. And I think I'm pretty happy with that because that, like the meta ads, that's scalable well beyond when I want to exit the business.
Yeah,
I'm never going to run out of referrals. I'm never going to run out of Facebook users.
Yeah. I would just be going, how could we have made the experience better for you? So you're not asking for a review specifically about like how was your purchase or how was this or what did you think was wrong or what was great or what's like it's 9-word email. What could we have done better, kind of thing. Okay. What I mean?
I asked that in the as the second email in the you've just personalized the book sequence. First one is like it's ready. Here's a screenshot of how it looks. Go click the link for the whole thing. Second one is if you had a magic wand, what would you change? And that I phrased it like that just to try to get people feeling loose. Like, okay, if I had a magic wand, not everyone wants to be critical, and I want them to be critical. And I haven't got good numbers on what percentage of people reply, but it's definitely the email that gets replied to most out of all my emails.
Yeah, right. Okay, I've got that email now too, so that's good. I would say again, what's missing from it is brand communication. Still missing from this email as well. So I get this thing in my inbox. Like, here's Lane's book. I'm like,
yeah, it's got like a different font.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, well, what who's this from? How'd you get my email address? Hey, it's Tom here. I noticed you checked out left our site, blah, blah, blah. Like, we just wanted to show you the book, and we also wanted to show you what the pages inside the book might look like. If you have got any questions, like, here you go.
Yeah.
Alternatively, like, here's a coupon. If you order in the next 2 hours, you can have 50% off the book or some shit. I don't know, whatever, 10% off or something. Do you know what I mean? Because
look, I started out with free shipping, and I grudgingly got rid of that because I realized you got to put the prices starting from without shipping, and it's better. And I'm not yet ready to do the contrived urgency thing.
Change it then. Just be like, hey, if you order within the next 24 hours, look, once a month we you give away 5 people the cost of their book back completely. So all you need to do to go into running to win that is order today. You go, oh well,
yeah.
You're not discounting, you're not upselling, you're not downselling. Like you could do that easy. We give people their money back just because we love the support. We're building this brand. We want to make sure you buy one today. So buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I would go.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, oh, what is this thing? $30, $40. I'm like, why not? Might want my money back. The book looks cool. I think it could look cooler. I think there's not enough in this email for me. It's not enough for me to make an action. View your book. Doesn't sound exciting, right? Hey Paul, we made this just for you. We've just done this just for you. Just check it out right now. Go ahead, go here. You can view everything.
Yeah.
You go, oh
yeah,
right,
and I should put 2 images in there because of the chance that the dice roll gets one they don't like. But the chance that the dice roll gets 2 they don't like is a lot lower. Or there's 1 that they like out of 2. Is a lot lower.
2, 3, whatever. Yeah. And then social proofing this as well. Hey, here's some testimonials. This is what Chris Velardo said about his book. This is what Sarah Haynes said about his book. This is what Chris Haynes said about the book. Like, cool. This is what other people recommend. This is why I'm pushing you about the brand strategy. Like, you should actually do the full brand. So we have a course, but we also do a full brand piece that you can do with Chris McLean. And he drags all of this information out of you and goes let's just nail it. So you know exactly what to say everywhere, right? On the website, on here, in your messaging, in your ads, because it will be an absolute game changer for you. I can see you're super competent techie dev, that kind of, but for saying the things, how you need to say the things, okay, you need some help on that, and if that's what you're going to have to nail, the whole messaging story around the brand, right? So,
it's interesting because that's the stuff that I'm keen to learn myself. That is really interesting. There's one thing, happy to tell you what it is if you want, that it's the thing I just don't want to do myself. But that stuff I'm happy to learn.
Yeah. Let me show you something quickly then. So there's a few people that have been on all of these calls. They come every week and they go, I know what he's going to show. But if you do the brand messaging piece with Chris, you go through all of these tabs, right? So what are the values of the brand? What's the beliefs of the brand? You're like, well, I value art. I think kids should be exposed to art. What is the voice of the brand? Sounds like what's the personality of the brand? What's the characteristics? What's our persona? What's the archetype? What's the audience definition? What's the empathy map? So when they land on our website, what do they want to think? What do they want to feel? What do they want to hear? What do they want to see? What do they want to say? What do they want to do? Blah, blah, blah. What are the problem statements? So I'm a dad. I'm trying to create a beautiful art book for my kid, and I hope it's not complicated because I just want to do it, and then people think I'm a nice dad, and this won't feel great. So all of this stuff ultimately even goes into your copy for your ads. So hey, if you're a dad and you want to do this and you want to do blah 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 blah, we're the guys for you. Here's the reviews. Here's how you do it. And this goes on and on and on. Here's their journey. So messaging angle in the awareness phase, in the research phase, in the decision phase, in the retention phase. You say different things, right? You say this message on this channel, and will they buy it? All the way through. This goes on and on. Here's your competitors. Here's your brand positioning. Basically, where we're trying to get to, though, is we end up with like this 40-page brand Bible. And Billy Joe, who just commented, he's done it with Chris Haynes. Like I was with Chris McQueen. It's a game changer. You take all at a bare minimum. You go, this is the words that go on your website. There's your H1. Here's your H2. Here's the other things. But what we do, you end up with a 40-page document that's like, hand this to all your media buyers, your Google Ads people, your SEO, your email marketers, your Instagram, your influencers, your everyone, and go, when you talk about our brand, talk about it like this. Say this thing, explain it like this. Say this is who it's for. Explain problem statements like this, so that everybody's out there saying the same thing about your brand. Because this is where, as brands grow, everyone's out there saying something different. Someone's at the pub like, oh, Tom's got this book and he uses, artificial expertise, some random word, that
yeah, totally, yeah.
It's AI, and he does it on the internet and makes cool shit of your kids. Like, yeah, we probably don't want you to say it like that. We want you to say it like this. Do you know what I mean? And you go, oh, why is that cool?
Yeah.
He goes, because you can create this, and you can do this, and you can do that. And you go, oh, great, awesome, yeah, that's good. I need that. Do you know what I mean? So, but if you can't say
what kind of data? What kind of data do you create to inform that?
We sit with you.
Like, how do you propose like testing different?
Well, the first
ideas?
is just writing all what we know out of your head. So we're sitting on calls with you for about an hour for 4 weeks and ask you lots and lots of questions around all this, and then we pull that out and go, this is what we think it is, and Chris and you together go, I think that's right, but we're going to massage it a bit to be more like this. And then you just test it once you've done it, basically, on the site. So, but like at the moment, you've got nothing. So you've got to just collect it all. This exercise is collect it all, and then Chris goes away and he tries to make it into a brand Bible, basically. Does that make sense? How about to get him on
a little bit. It's a bit more like expert based rather than like throw shit at the wall with a good testing strategy than I'm kind of imagining for my future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for example, Chris,
I don't consider myself an expert in what my customers think the product does. I feel like if I were starting that process, I'd interview a couple of customers rather than myself.
Well, yeah. So this is why you'd work with someone like Chris, though, because does this with a lot of brands, right? So, for example, these guys, we did this with them, and they're in our inner circle. So previously they're like, hey, we're a toy store in Hampton or something. And these are only part of it. Unleash your child's imagination at the toy store where every toy tells a tale. You're like, oh, that sounds fun. Like from educational to creative. Toybox does everything, to do this, blah, blah, blah. And you go down here and go, oh, we believe every child deserves the best start in life because of this and this and that. And da, 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 da. You're like, yeah, cool. This is what I want to hear. That's what I want to buy from them. Versus like, hey, we make AI books for kids that are history photos. And you know what I mean? This is a real, I'm dumbing this down just really quickly, but that's kind of like, here's another site, like we made for a client. So, you kind of, elevate your collection of premium watch designed for collectors. People go, yeah, that's me, versus just we sell watch boxes. So, but we do this same process for and you can see the difference, right? Even the difference in the store, what it looks like is, and I can show you 100 other stores. Here he is, Chris.
My ears were burning, mate. I was just walking down the street. My ears started burning. I thought, what's going on?
Well, you go. You explain it better than I explain it. I think I got to about at least a 3 out of 10. This is why he does it with you, not me. So, over to you, Chris.
I heard that the question was what data sources do you use? That was the question, right, Tom?
Yeah. Like I've got a bunch of tooling set up that I haven't used heaps to like A/B test different H1s, different copies, so I can, think up some ideas, put them out, and run experimentation programs.
Yeah. So that's, all of that is amazing, but that's like your kind of phase 2 thing, right? So from where we're looking at the website now, it's like phase 1 hasn't been done right yet, as in we don't have like one slogan to test. We don't have one good H1. There's no origin story. There's no really who's this for and what do they want and what are the belief systems and values of the person that's trying to buy from all that nice fuzzy stuff that actually does generate conversions. So the data question is an interesting one. So that my data source is a combination of you and asking you really good questions and getting inside your brain and sort of teasing that stuff out to go, okay, Tom knows his product, your audience, you obviously have done a lot of data, so you already have your own hypotheses about your business, right? So you're a really good data source about business and what it means and what it might mean to somebody else. And then once it's that combined with, I've been working in marketing and brand for almost 25 years now, and I can my data sources are many and varied. So it's a combination of understanding where you're coming from and then going, okay, I think this is what feels right for where Tom's brand needs to be. And then mapping that against our history, working with the hundreds of e-com clients that we work with, knowing what works well for a headline, knowing how to position a business correctly for success in a particular market. So that's, it's not particular, it's like human data. But then where you go to next, as you say, like we go, here's the hypothesis, which is largely what a lot of marketing is, right? You go, here's the thing that we reckon is going to work. And we put that headline up there, and then we might test 20 variations of it. But that is quite getting into the weeds of things. If we don't have something to put up first, there's nothing to test. So I think that's kind of the place where this process starts, is like, let's get something that feels pretty accurate and start there. And then you can do your 101 tests to get it exactly perfect and converting from 61% to 72% and going up from there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think so for you, if I was you, I'd be like, that's the first thing that we do. Then, because that's also then going to help all your meta ads. So I haven't looked at your meta ads now. Maybe I will actually. So hang on, let's do it.
It's really simple. It's shockingly simple. It's basically that above the fold image with a couple of different headlines in DCT.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well. Okay.
And that's the most burning. That's the thing I referred to before about the thing that isn't quite me crafting creative content for ads, like setting the theme, knowing the customers, because I've drunk the Kool-Aid on do all targeting by how the creative is designed and let the algorithm find the people who respond best to it.
Yeah.
So if I want to target grandparents, make the content speak to grandparents and let the algorithm find the people who match that rather than any kind of detailed targeting. But so where they are today is it's just basically that picture is doing a lot of work.
Right. Okay. Chris, how do
you
Lockie's free? And I'm going to screen share in a second too. Lockie's our meta ad spot.
So, yeah, if he's around, we'll get him on quickly too.
But I'm going to screen share. We'll put him on the spot and go, hey, mate, come on. But
I was just going to ask, Tom, how do you, when you put that creative together, how do you figure out what words and stuff to put in? Say you're targeting grandparents. Do you just kind of go by what you've said before that kind of works and just change parents to grandparents? Or do you kind of know what grandparents are looking for specifically? Like, what's your process there?
The other thing that I try to do apart from meta ads and the email campaigns is I try to win miscongeniality for customer service, and I have a really chatty tone in the emails, and I engage with people like one-on-one and have personal emails. And so they do give me a lot of feedback, and I hear when it was, there's two emails when it's delivered. The one a few days later is, can you share it with friends? The one right away is, what do you think of it? And so I get a lot of feedback about the language that people use and what it's for, whether it's parents, grandkids, or a really surprising cohort, which is definitely based on who my ads are reaching according to the algorithm, is a ton of art teachers have ordered it.
Oh, wow.
So I have a sense of the language that they're using it in. And then I'm kind of into words. It's the pictures that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great. We call that user-generated messaging. It's similar to user-generated content, but it's basically getting your audience to generate the words that they like to speak, right? So it's a really good strategy to have your audience tell you what they like in their words and replay that back in your ads.
Totally.
Really
I think, especially with the algorithmic approach to get the loop spinning, get cheaper CPMs, because I'm respecting what Facebook's audience like.
Yep. All right, Lockie's here now. He's actually our head media buyer and a head coach for meta ads in the circle. So here you go. Chris has told you what we need to do from that. We've got a plan for Crow. Now we're going to plan for meta ads. We're going to solve everything in this call. Hang on, let's keep going. So over to you, Lockie. Do you want to have a look? This is Tom, by the way. Do you have the link? Do you want me to give you you've got the site link? Oh, can't hear you for some reason. Your audio is not working.
I've just invited Lockie on with kind of throwing him in the deep end here. So it'll need a little bit of background.
We just can't hear him talk. That's all right. This is good. We'll remember this call in like 2 years from now when Tom's doing like 10 million a month with these things because he's going to crush it. You're like, I remember those guys. Actually, no, because we'll be working together still 2 years from now. So that's going to happen. So
Tom's
I got an order from a guy who's sold 10 million units of a similar product, and jumped on a call with him.
Nice.
The other day, that was really informative.
Awesome. He was helpful.
Yeah, so he's doing those kind of numbers. So
yeah, well, okay. There you go. Your audio working now, Lockie?
Shows it's possible.
You're gonna have to sign language or something, mate.
Maybe just try leaving and joining back in.
Audio devices.
Sometimes everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's good. I've done 7 Zoom downtime for 10 minutes and just talked to Tom. So I don't know about the rest of you guys. So
Tom, I know we went over it already. Would you be open to like sharing the goal, like for this business, like where you're trying to take it, like what the long-term vision is?
Yeah. Look, the number I've got in my head, which is a bit, I'm not quite ready to go and get it tattooed on my butt just yet, but like I'm trying to stick to it. Is if it ever gets to the point where someone offers me 15 mil, then I feel like I owe it to myself and my family just to cash that out, go put that in a bunch of non-correlated investments and start again, for fun the second time.
Yeah.
I always find it funny when people go, I'll sell something for 10 million and then I'll start again. I'm like, why don't you just go to 20 million and then just and then you can still cash out and still stay. Do you know what I mean? Like I sold my last business right to a public company. Do you know what I mean? And in hindsight, I shouldn't have. I should have just like kept going. I very rarely hear stories of people going and go, that was a good thing. Completely. So just tabling that idea for you. Don't know if you've been involved in any business sales.
Look, like I say, I'm not ready to get it tattooed on my butt, but
just here I said, just there.
idea.
I'm out.
All right. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We got you now.
Okay, cool. So, I guess what am I on the call for? What are we talking about today?
So we're going to help Tom fix his brand messaging strategy when he joins the inner circle. Then you're going to have to fix his meta ads. So he's got some pretty good goals. He knows a fair bit about meta ads, but you might hopefully know a bit more. So do you want to have a look?
Yeah. I can have a look. We're pulling up
you
a
can
screen share.
And you want me to screen share or you want to screen share?
Are you talking to me?
Everyone lagging on. Talking to you.
I don't have access to the ad account.
All right, here we go. We're just going to do a normal, boring, old school screen share.
Oh, we did go on the Facebook ads library, are we?
Yeah. So here we go.
Okay.
Tell me where you want me to drive, and I'll do the driving. Is this all right, like this?
Yeah. Just let me make that a bit bigger. To do a real deep dive, I'd love to get into the actual ad account to have a look at all the metrics and stuff because you can't see that in the ads library. But looks like there's a bit of testing going on here. Looks like we're selling some sort of book. Is that right? During the start of the call. Subject to do with artist.
Upload a photo of my boys and it makes him into like artistic versions of the boys, basically. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I can see quite a lot of these are inactive at the moment. Have you had trouble with like account errors and stuff recently?
No, actually, just had massive success with a couple of ads, and have just shut everything else off.
Yeah, okay. And these pink ads at the moment?
Yeah, there's a couple of others. I wonder if this is maybe it is just those. I would have thought there'd be a couple more, maybe that are only visible in the States. I don't know if that is a factor.
It's got the all filter on there for the country. So yeah, this is why I don't love looking at the ads library. The ad account is much more useful. But just looking at these ads like I'm guessing there was some sort of like boosted post possibly, or use existing post on those ones that use hashtags and stuff. I think that looks messy.
Yeah, totally. That I know, it's horrible, but it just worked so hard. And I actually I only turned that one back on. Like I keep that one off most of the time. I keep it. I'm retired. It's in the process of being retired. It's been a really big earner on Wednesdays in the US actually. So that is the American one. That one should be US only, and it's just driven a ton of revenue or a ton of clicks that ultimately lead to conversions in the US on Wednesdays, our time.
Yeah, awesome.
So out of superstition, I kind of turned it back on today.
Yep. Okay, so at the moment, I can see like there's a few different creators, but a lot of it looks very similar to me. So you got this girl with the pink little background. Like, have you done much creative testing around like headlines, different callouts, like free shipping, or like customized books, like actual tests?
It's just a DCT. Yeah, it's just a DCT campaign with in a 322.
Yeah, cool. I love 322.
Not heaps. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So what I typically like to do is use different angles to relate to different buyer personas. So whether it's like a grandparent gifting to their child, or maybe it's a kid reading the book like you've got here. If you want to scroll down a little bit, Paul, we can have a look at some of the previous tests that might have been done. So yeah, it looks like a lot of kids.
That's missing from
that's worked.
The thing is that's like kind of core to where the product would mostly be used. A lot of people, surprisingly amount of customers have ordered it for adults as well. So obviously don't totally know how people are going to use it. But the thing that's missing for me from all of these is a picture of the customer who is not the kid, or any representation of the customer. Seems like kind of a no-brainer to at least test that.
Yeah, it needs to be a photo of like me reading the book to Liam, and Liam's in the book. My kids. Yeah.
Anything on the theme, like I've almost kind of like ideas for ads. It's written down as a theme, like rockstar parent. Get something on this rockstar parent idea.
Yeah,
that's really different to this.
Yeah, I think some of the copy, it's like some of them are single lines, which can definitely work, but some of the longer ones, I like to expand on the copy a bit more and do some like storytelling, or a bit more in your copy to do some of the selling for you before they get over to the website. And then like a little thing like the call to action, learn more. I like to use just shop now, just sending people to the website with the pretense that they're going to buy out. Yeah, just a couple of little things without just looking on the surface here. Like Paul was saying, I think parents reading the book and like just being able to show that connection between you and the kid and the fun experience that people are having, being able to show that end result of that interaction.
I'll buy one and then I'll take some photos and I'll send it to you.
Amazing.
Yeah. And there's all different sorts of things that you can do with ads, right? Like you don't have any like benefit call outs, like what's the book made out of? Are the kids going to destroy it instantly? Like all these different little things, which makes your book probably a premium book. Start talking about those things. Like it's a keepsake sort of thing as well. Like speak about those. They're going to revisit it when like on their 18th or something. Start talking about those sort of nostalgic aspects as well when the kids grow up.
Yeah, we don't need to give him all the secrets, Lucky. That's why he's got to join the circle for. We're going to help him do it bit by bit. Once he gets to 50K, and then we go, all right, 100K, we'll do another audit, and 200K, another one.
You should have been on the Meta Ads call this morning. We spoke about creative for like an hour and a half. So,
there we go. He will be there next week. Next week he will be there. So it's all good.
Might get access to the recording for that one because there's a lot of good ideas within that call. There's just different ways to display a product and say the same thing in a million different ways and display it in a million different ways. That's pretty much my job as a marketer. So,
and then we just take all the stuff that wins in here and you run that like via TikTok and you just repurpose it everywhere else, you know, and you repurpose it via influencers. And then you repurpose it via email and you go, cool, let's build a digital strategy, kind of like, you know, something like.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty keen on sticking on one page channel. I love the conceptual simplicity of like, if my CPA is below target, spend more. And if it's above target, hustle more.
It is
not having to kind of juggle.
Until Meta Ads gets banned.
Until something happens on Meta Ads and you get shut down for a week and you're like, why did that happen? And it takes you 2 weeks to undo it. And you're like, should have had a backup channel. Trust me.
Email's really handy to own some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I do a bit of email. So I've got that. I've always got my list. I've got everyone's address.
There's a lot of people out there that push the whole one channel, one thing, one offer, one product, which is great. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But having some backup stuff that's easy to have at the backup, highly recommend you have a backup.
Because I'm trying to do everything all by myself. I really aggressively try to keep it simple. From like the code up and the relationships with the customers and engaging and the vendors, who, you know, the fulfillment partners and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is your main audience the US?
Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
So is your main audience the US?
I think it'll be neck and neck between the UK and the US at the moment, which I'm a bit surprised by, given the size of the relative size of the market. And then there's a long tail. I think I've shipped to about 30 countries so far. It seems to go up every week, 1 or 2 at the moment.
Okay, I purely asked because you're using personalized with a Z and specialized with a Z.
Using
American spelling.
Yeah,
that was my question.
That is kind of
perspective. Are you an Aussie business that also sells to the US, or are you a US business?
Where did that ship from?
Definitely kind
Australia of. Or overseas?
I've got 17 print locations at the moment.
Jesus.
And I'm kind of working on expanding that in case I have like delivery time issues or anything, not putting all my eggs in 17 baskets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just a minutia question on if you're an Aussie business using Aussie language or like British English would represent the brand, but again, if your main audience is the US, then speaking their language makes sense. So it's just a bit of a
look. The book itself has the S's instead of Z's in a few places. I've had some feedback from customers saying that they think that makes it sound like posh and fancy, even in the States. So it's probably wise that I go with that and go the thing that sounds natural to most people, even in non-English speaking countries. Everyone thinks British English is more fancy, so I should probably just go with that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Are you allowed to use all their names?
I mean, I would as an Australian business, because you price in Aussie dollars.
Yeah, are you allowed to use all the names and stuff and to do this? Where's all that
of the dead people?
Yeah, is there any rules around that or anything?
I've looked into it. Doesn't seem to be anything. I don't know if I'm going to get a cease and desist from like Monet's.
From Vincent.
It's
like, stop using my face, Tom. Like, sorry about that, Vinny. Sorry, I was just a curious question. So
no, and those little pictures are also AI generated. They're not like originals
or anything. Yeah,
portraits by the artists. Yeah.
In the future, you're going to have other artists as well that you can pick from, or is it always kind of the same ones?
I really like the philosophy of like, this is what it is, buy it or don't, and let the algorithm bring the people who buy it, and not have too many decisions and customize, like high touch customization. More of like an Apple guy in that way.
Yeah, You need a Banksy.
So no, I'm not really planning to. What's that?
Yeah, you get a Banksy in there.
Problem is he's alive and he might have an opinion.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Is it
It'd
really?
be pretty hard for him to sue you, seeing as he's a pseudonym.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just contemporary. The brief was I wanted to have like a diverse, like gender and like ethnically diverse bunch of artists who weren't alive. And if you're saying people, they have to be people who aren't alive, that's pretty much a dead white men's club. So that kind of influenced the number to get the balance at all right. I like ran out of women and people of color to represent in there.
So we won't put that in the brand messaging strategy, the white dead guys thing though. we'll articulate that better.
Well, you got Frida and Basquiat in there. You got some sort of representation.
Yeah. There's a few. Yeah, and I think it's a nice, like, just physically, it happens to be around about the minimum length of photo book prints for most of those places, a little bit over, but around there, and it's a kind of a nice length for a kid's book.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea. Like, I'm interested to see where you take it if you ever do non-art stuff, like if you've got a superhero version. Do you know what I mean? You go like, hey, this is. Yeah,
I'm planning to keep it non-fiction.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a handshake but not inked deal for a kind of small investment. I mean, I should say it's handshake but not inked, but some money has changed hands, so it's pretty as good as inked.
Pretty much stuff.
From someone who is keen on doing a history, like a general history book. So,
okay,
you know, the
like
kid
Ned Kelly kind of thing.
It'd be easy to be inclusive with that one too.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, just that's right. I'm not sure exactly what the right word is. I don't want to sound like it's too super woke. It's just it's a big world.
That's the right word. It's a good word.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, it's been fun. Keen to chat with you more about how we can help you. But hope you got some good value out of this as well.
Big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. I think we're set for tomorrow to chat anyway. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, Tom. We'll go through quickly. Like, we had a lot of people leave questions and comments, so I just want to honor them and go through these quickly.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I noticed a couple of them, but I didn't want to.
No, all good. We like to go through everything, and then when we get the chance, we'll go through all the questions. So we'll just pick up some more level kind of questions. So from Karen, many years ago, there was a series of children's books about life skills that talked about bullying, feeling, and how to generally learn about thoughts and consequences. What if you personalize a child into something like this? I think you're going more for the history angle.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the main thing, like, I thought about that too. I love that idea, but I'm trying to just be laser focused and execute the heck out of the product. Especially once I kind of realized, like, oh, if I sell this on the internet, it's just not out of the question I could sell like 1 million units of the same thing by getting better and better at executing and becoming like my effort, but like getting the flywheel really going. And I think doing more products will make it harder to get the brand messaging right, make it harder to get the ad creative right, be a little bit more. Might convert some more people if they have a few options to buy, but it'll also make it harder to be really, really clear who it's for.
Yeah, it's more of the less is more kind of mindset.
I think
you don't need to be everybody for everyone. You know what I mean? You can just be like, here's who we go after. There's millions of people who just want to buy like what you sell right now.
Totally.
So,
I think like diversifying would be the like go get 5 million of funding, get a big team, do a bunch of stuff, like do translations. I'd actually do translations before I'd diversify the content, I think.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. Go to countries like India and Philippines and monster countries and sell them there. Exactly like the Mr. Beast model. Mr. Beast, the YouTuber, like does a video and then he goes transcribe it into, who Mr. Beast is on YouTube, the biggest guy. Yeah. Now we'll transcribe it to Portuguese. Do you know what I mean? And Portuguese is his biggest. It's bigger than America by 50 times or something, or and those kind of things. So.
Interesting. A user gave some amazing feedback asking if I could do a bilingual version. with like the same content in 2 languages, which is
interesting.
If I've got the translation, it's so easy to do that. So that, watch this space.
Yeah, beautiful. Maurice said so much great information on today. Thank you. Appreciate the support, Maurice, as always. This is a pretty special panel today. We don't usually get everyone on, but this is a little bit of a special one.
This is only part of it. This is only part of the team. There's more of us.
Yeah, I know there's way more. Yeah.
When Maurice joins the circle, he's going to see the rest of us. He's impressed by this
series called the Resilience series. We used to stock it. So Chris Haynes has a toy store. They do a lot of stuff for kids. They used to have very similar books to these. That's cool.
Are you going to do wholesale? Can I ask that question? So, for example, like Chris Haynes, who owns a toy store in Victoria, he could sell a code to your thing and just go there and buy it. I think
it's better to think of wholesale as affiliate.
That's what I mean. But if you're buying, like, if Sarah goes, hey, you can buy this thing and you buy it from us for $50, and then they make $15 and do nothing, and the person goes straight to your website. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I've thought about it because I think it's probably a complementary thing, like like the rebuttal upsell kind of idea. Like, oh, you didn't want to spend $10, how about spending $80? That if they've got a thing in store that you nudge people to spending, instead of like $20 on a kid's book, they're spending $70, then maybe they do just grab a couple of other books for $20 as well. I don't know how the in-store economics that'd pan out. The thing that I've looked into that to affiliate and like point of sale display stuff, I just haven't felt like it's as scalable as straight organic word of mouth and meta ads.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a completely different model, but it's still like,
it's another avenue.
Easy for these. Yeah, just another avenue. Definitely.
Yeah. Justin Hughes, Justin's a big supporter for us. Tom, go to these guys. They would not go. He would not go anywhere else. Thank you so much for the continual support, Justin. Billy, just giving his experience on Chris's brand strat. Yeah, he's done it with us. He loved it. So thank you, Billy, again for joining in. Richard Reed had a question for you about Google Ads. I know we're not running Google Ads here, so he was wondering if you were remarketing on Google or if you had any plans to. But I think you kind of explained that.
Yeah, look, even with Facebook, I'm strictly all broad all the time. So if Facebook thinks that someone who's been before should see the ad again, that happens. And if they don't, then they don't, and I don't try to force that.
Yeah. Tom is very much a one-man team right now, so like most, you only got so much time and so much know-how on your hands. So you've done a great job so far, mate. Though everyone else,
honestly, I think it makes the calculation easier. I like
attribution.
Just because as soon as there's multiple streams in the mix, the attribution kind of, who knows? I think even the kind of like at least meta ads gurus that I'm into, which especially is like Charlie T, they're all just do broad all the time anyway. Any human will always do it worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's something to be said here with just from Paul's experience and everyone else in the team is like, especially the size you're looking to build. Obviously, it's good to nail down the foundations and have really strong, say, meta ads like that as a really good avenue. But then you're going to get to a point where if you want to scale, you need to be adding these other avenues. You need to be trying other methods where like one avenue can only get you so far, realistically. Paul, do you want to touch on that?
You reckon that applies even if that avenue has like 2 billion monthly users?
Yeah, because if you get smashed by a block for some stupid reason for a whole month, your business is in a world of pain, and it happens all the time. Even Charlie T, I'm sure he's had it many times with many brands.
Yeah.
You're like, that's great. You get wiped out and go, what happened there? Or or an event like Click Frenzy. An event like Click Frenzy happened last week, and like all the big boys go mental and spend huge budgets, and then you can't even get like any, they're drowning you, and you're like, well, we just had a terrible week. But if we were in other channels as well, we've got a bit of redundancy happening.
Well, I'm in the word of mouth and the email, and no one's going to make email more expensive. I mean, touch wood. and the word of mouth. And because I'm so extremely lean, like if I have a bad month, I just don't get rich as fast. I don't have a lot of like mouths to feed on the team or anything like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Fair
beautiful. The rest of the comments, just thank you everyone for joining in. Really appreciate your time being here and leaving the comments. I am going to leave a link, guys. Actually, Tom, I'll let you go. I know you're a busy man, so thank you so much for joining in. We'll speak tomorrow, but
Thanks, Tom.
awesome business. Look forward to catching up again. So have a good one, mate.
Cheers.
See you, mate. Bye.
Cool. Thank you guys for jumping on too. But before we go, everyone, so I know you've heard us mention about the e-commerce circle a few times. Some of you have watched this many weeks and you're probably on the edge thinking, like, how do I join? Can I join? I'm going to link our page to you below in the comments. I want you to go check it out and then just see what the e-commerce circle is a little bit about. It's basically what you see on this call is probably 1% of what gets done in the e-commerce circle. You're going to work with a team with Paul, with Chris, with Lockie in there as well, who are in your corner to help you grow your e-commerce business profitably and sustainably. So if that's something you're interested in checking out, I'm going to drop the link for you. Just go ahead, have a look, watch the videos, or just reach out to me or Paul and have a chat, or even Chris and Lockie. Otherwise, I want to thank everyone again for joining in. If you'd like to come on as a guest next week, by all means, reach out and we'll organize that. Otherwise, just have a lovely day, everyone, and thank you. All right, let's see ya.